glitches. I had to reinstall my Instagram app, update it, and everything. Because every time I was trying to go live earlier with him, it kept on knocking me off. I thought something was wrong with me. Samville, I can't get you in right now. I'm waiting for my guests, and then we can talk down after that, okay? Hey, what's up? Timeless Music Empire. Thank you for troubleshooting with me. Thank you so much. I know you are resting. Thank you so much. And congratulations to T. Manny, who's part of Timeless Music Empire. He just won a wonderful, wonderful award. Nigerians are moving the diaspora forward. Look at I Am Nodash. Let me add him. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Tom. Hey, Kenyon. How are you doing? Hey, Nat. What's going on? What's up? Waiting for my... Oh, yeah, I am sorry. Oh. It's almost like my data had run out. My data don't run out. I didn't get my recharge card. I was having problems. Thank you so much for your patience and everything. You know, I was so excited for this show because, you know, I'm a couch potato and I watch everything that you've done. You know, Giddy Up is one of my favorites too, right?
Sorry?
Giddy Up, Giddy Up.
Oh, really interesting.
The web series, yes. Hey, now, everything. I don't see everything about you. Everything. Happy Nigerian independence.
Yeah, same to you. Well, thank you, and same to you too, actually.
Exactly. You know, but you know, in Nigeria, I'm proud of people like you. Because of you and the things you do, you put us in the forefront of the world. Not because of the bad things that are happening, because of the good things that people like you do.
Yes.
I think celebrate people like you. So let's jump right into the questions. I already present them to you. Tell us what influenced your journey and who you are today.
That's a big one. Who I am, who am I? I'm a bunch of things. But I'd say, I mean, if I can find a simple way to say it, I would say, if we're looking at filmmaking, it was just the need to tell. You know, I've always been a storyteller, right? You know, when we're young, I was that kid who would tell everybody stories and gather all his friends around and stuff. So I think, so it was really just a habit, but along the line, it became more, right? I grew older, I started realizing the power of storytelling.
Yeah.
And being an African, it's important that we realize, I mean, there's something I always say that, you know, you can, the world is ruled by guns and stories, right? And the most powerful of them are the stories, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think now that I understand the power, the potential of storytelling and the power that it holds, I think that's why I tell the kind of stories I tell now.
Amazing. And you know, you're a jack of you do a lot of things. You know, you just don't direct. You don't just produce. You don't just write stories. You are doing, how are you able to be in so many facets of the movie making industry? Because you're in, like, your name is everywhere. You're in everything. Tell me a little bit about all your experiences within that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a combination of things. A combination of the way my mind works naturally, and also the way I kind of, you know, the path I took to get to this point in the industry, right?
Absolutely.
So I started as a writer. That's my first creative, you know, expression.
Wow,
You know,
really?
yes. I'm first and foremost a writer and a director.
Yes.
Then I was trying to get into the film industry, and I had no idea how. So I came up with this idea. I said, you know what? What if I worked somewhere in a company that had, you know, where I could gain some experience, you know? And then I found a place. I went there and I asked them, and I've learned this thing: when you want to get a job, nobody cares about you. Everybody cares about what they get, and that's just the reality.
I'm going to take that in. I'm going to take that in. I like that.
Yeah. So I went in there and I said, "What do you guys need?" And they said, we need some more editors. Do you edit?" I said, let me answer that question in a few months. So I went back, got myself a computer and taught myself how to edit. Then I came back after about 6 months and I said, "Remember me?" say, yeah. Oh, yeah. You still need editors? I edit. So they tried me out, and we were like, oh, dude, you can actually do stuff. That was how I got the job.
Wow.
Yeah. So you see that I didn't set up to be an editor, but I
Yes.
became one to get a job.
Yes.
Then when I got in, I became, within a couple of years, I became the creative director and the head of production of the TV network. And I started trying to tell my own stories, which was what I wanted to do in the first place. But
Exactly.
I couldn't find someone who could shoot the kind of pictures that I had in my mind. So I taught myself cinematography.
Wow.
Yes.
You can do every job. Every job in filmmaking you can do.
Not every. There are things I can't do. I can't do makeup.
That's the
And that's, there are things I can't do. A lot of things.
So how did your culture, being a Nigerian, influence the stories you're telling and the movies you're capturing?
Oh my, I mean, without the culture, I wouldn't have stories to tell, right?
Yes.
Because so there's something I've found, right? That for every culture, there is a way we tell stories across all cultures.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and the way we tell stories is built upon our values as a people, right? So I mean, when you grow up in Nigeria, you have uncles, and you read all the people tell stories around. There's a certain way Nigerians tell stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's really what that's really my strongest influence, right? There's a certain way we narrate stories that is different from the British, it's different from the Americans, different from the French. It is just Nigerian. You
Yes.
understand? So there's that flavor, and that's what I'm trying to replicate with pictures, right? Like, let us turn this into moving pictures. There's a certain spirit to the way we speak, the way we think, the way we. That's really what it is. So without that cultural influence, I wouldn't be telling the kind of stories I tell, not the way I do them.
And talking about the Nollywood, because Nollywood industry is the third biggest movie industry. There's Hollywood, Bollywood, and then Nollywood, right? Even though Nollywood say they're second, but
By
yeah, they're second. They're moving too fast. Nigeria, no carry last. They go move too fast. So tell us about the Nollywood industry, because when I was growing up, the movies were a little bit, long. The storylines were very. I could write a Nollywood script. It's either somebody has cheated on somebody has put jazz on you or juju, somebody has stolen your man, somebody has killed your mother, somebody is doing this. Tell me the evolution of the Nollywood industry, because you are part of that evolution.
Yeah, so funny enough, I kind of see it slightly differently in the sense that, yes, the stories we tell now, the way we tell the stories we tell now are a little different. But the question I keep asking myself and people is, yes, we say the stories that were told then were, but these stories still put Nigeria on the map.
Yes, they did. You're right.
So
You're right. You're right. Everybody all over the world.
Yes, that means people were buying them. And when it comes to audiences, the audience is never stupid. They buy what they can connect with. So
Yeah.
I feel that, yes, I think that the stories can be told better, but I feel there might be something in those stories.
Yes.
Maybe we just need to refine them a little bit. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, for example, I was having a conversation with some colleagues yesterday, actually, and they were talking about witchcraft, and they're like, oh, Nigerian films just have witchcraft. I'm like, what do you think Harry Potter is?
You're right. You're right. You're right. Harry Potter is witchcraft. You're right. You're right. Y'all making sense.
So maybe we just need to find a better way to tell, the same stories. I think that might be the way to go, but who knows? It's just
That's true. You're very right about that. So your movies, for me, they invoke a lot of emotion. You talk about story. You make stories that people don't really want to talk about, right? And things that happen that are more like I'm just gonna go right into your your newest, like, you know, baby that you wrote, you directed, you did make sandwiches for the movie, you did make jollof rice for everybody. You did a lot of parts of that movie, right? You did, right? You didn't do so much. That movie is a narrative that everybody knows about, that nobody talks about. What made you feel safe enough to go into that space and create Delivery Boy, which was riveting, one of the top movies on Netflix, top movie, like it's a top, wonderful actors, young actors. You took young actors in, one older, like, you know, like, how did you, like, talk to me about that? It blew my mind.
So when I wrote the story, when I decided to make the film, the first set of people I sent, everybody who read the script said the same thing. They said, "Oh, this is a nice story." But then they asked me and said, "Are you sure you want to make this story?" And then I cast some actors. Two of the lead actors dropped out and said, "We love the story, but we can't do it."
Wow.
And then the production designer I hired to say the same thing, like, "This is good, but man, I can't touch this."
Wow.
And I knew where they were coming from. But the more I thought about it, then and I had conversations with people. I realized that a lot of the fears that we all have about these kind of topics, they come from ignorance, right? We think that, so typically in Nigeria, people think when people are afraid to talk about religion, do you understand? But people forget that people who practice religion are actually not idiots. You understand? The lines are pretty clear. If you watch The Delivery Boy, you can tell that the intention is not to be disrespectful to any religion.
At all.
Yeah, so once that is clear, and that was what I felt. I felt that it was important and that people would know. You know, people are not stupid. Just watch. They can tell you can tell when someone is being disrespectful and when someone isn't. And that's really what happened, you know, because we've screened pretty much we've almost screened in Tunisia, which is an Islamic country, you know, and people love it. So, and then as regards the nature of the story itself, talking about things that people don't usually talk about, what else is fun to talk about? Do you want to keep talking about the same thing? I mean,
about your husband cheating on you, I guess.
That's the only fun thing to talk about.
Or your wife.
Yes. So I really just try to make films about, I try very hard to make films that I can watch.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, films that I would enjoy watching, and just like talking about, you know, because I don't want to make films that at the end of the day I can't watch, and I feel like, you know, something.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the Delivery Boy was born. I was in that mind space where I was like, I see all the films that are being made, good for them, but I really just want a film that I can watch to exist.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's also a theme. When you're talking about a theme of, like, a lot of men that get abused don't get a chance to talk about it because they're scared to, right? And this makes little boys and little girls feel that, you know what, I need to speak up because I don't need to be abused continuously to adulthood where I become, because he had mental health issues after that kind of abuse from a young boy. And I think there needs to be more movies like this that talk about some of the male perspective, because men are supposed to be strong, bad. You can't talk about your emotions. You can't be vulnerable. But this literally opened that up in so many ways.
Yeah, and I think one part of the whole abuse thing that I wanted to touch on, and I felt and I still feel really strongly about it, is the fact that it's complicated. You know, sometimes when I see movies or stories about abuse, it's usually really simple. These guys abuse it. No, but sometimes, you know, in this story, there's a part in the dialogue where a girl says, "Okay, my uncle, I don't want to give too much away for
don't tell them no story, yo. Don't tell them. They need to go and watch. Everybody go and watch Delivery Boy on Netflix. That's their homework today."
Yeah, but there's a part in the dialogue that I really like where the girl, I'm not gonna mention her name, says oh, I've been abused, blah, blah, blah. And the guy says, so why didn't you stop it when you were old enough? And the girl says, well, I was also using it to get an education for my brother. Do you understand? And now it's
So it
getting,
becomes survival sex then. It's survival after that.
yes. So
Hmm.
it gets really complicated. And I feel that sometimes when we oversimplify these problems, I mean, think about it for a second. We've been talking about abuse for years.
Yes.
It's the Bible, for God's sake. It's that old. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
we are the same race that's built rockets that can go to space. We've done
Yes.
fantastic stuff, and
Yes.
we can't solve that problem. That tells
Such a
me that,
taboo still.
yeah, it means that there's certain parts of it we're not addressing right. You understand? So the
Absolutely.
more, conversation.
The more these stories are told, the more we're gonna be able to ease into talking more about being able to get help, and also you can live a healthy life, and things like that from there. And also, there's not a lot of Hausa movies that have made like using Hausa language in a movie. Hausa is a dialect in Nigeria for those of you that don't know. But he infused Nodash put the Hausa language in there and the Hausa culture, which you don't see more of. But only you and I think there's another Califat that's on Netflix. There's not a lot of Hausa thing. How did you like go there? Because you're a Yoruba boy, a Yoruba demon, I mean.
So I really like it when stories are authentic. I feel, there's this, it's almost a subconscious need we feel to make everything appeal to a certain audience. This is what I
Yeah.
mean. So you make a film and automatically you're writing the film in English, but you forget that English is a very limited language. There are
Yes.
things that English cannot express.
Yes.
You understand? So as a writer, I've always struggled with that sometimes you want to write some emotions and you just can't write them because these words don't exist in English.
Exactly.
So, and so for that reason, I've always felt that if you want to express a certain culture,
Yes.
language is an integral part of that culture. Once
Yes.
you change language, you pretty much have changed the way the culture is expressed.
Absolutely.
So I'm not Hausa. For the story, they needed to speak in Hausa. That's just it. So once I knew that it wasn't even a question. It was, this is going to be done in Hausa, and it's what it is. That's it.
It was riveting, like to see, because I went back and forth when I went back and forth and I went to school in Jos, so it brought back that memory of Hausa, Kuli Kuli, Kilishi, all of that kind of like bravado and stuff. I was like, oh, this really takes me back there, right? In those sense. But tell me some of your other favorite projects you worked on. Delivery Boy is your baby. Like that's like, you did everything in that movie. But what are some other projects that you've done that you really enjoyed and that people should go watch on Netflix?
Well, because I do a bunch of, well, not a bunch, a couple of things, right?
Yes.
I run a production company, so aside providing production service, there are projects that, for example, the Bloomberg documentary I was showing recently was something we produced. I didn't direct the shoot, we just produced. So we do stuff. And then, of course, obviously, a director, right? And sometimes I also work as a photographer on projects.
Yeah.
So if you say projects I've worked on, there have been a few.
The list is big. When I was sitting, I was like, I can't even. I can't. There's so many. The Bridge, Isoke, Giddy Up. Like I was like, yo, everything I love, he's been on.
Yes.
But what's one of your? Tell me 3 of your favorite projects you've worked on. Let me put you on the spot. 3.
I wouldn't say favorite. I would say the ones that I know people can have access to. I mean, the ones that just came out, especially.
Okay. So say that if you want to be PC.
There'll be Love is War. I was a cinematographer on that. Obviously, the Delivery Boy and Merry Men 2. Actually,
Merry Men 2.
Second one. Yeah, I was also.
And The Bridge is on Netflix too.
Yeah, all these films are on
And
Netflix
it's
now.
okay. So you guys have homework. Support Black business. So we hear about the underbelly, like, of working in the Nollywood industry. For somebody that wants to get into the industry, you know, in different facets, how was it navigating that space? You already said you had to make your own space, right? Like, you created your own lane. Like, you know what? I'll just do whatever you need me to do till I get to do what I want to do. But how does somebody break into the industry, and how is the industry?
Yeah, so I mean, the first thing I would say is the first, do not, this is, do not think there is one path to the industry. And that's what I've found, right?
Yeah.
So usually people ask, what is the path? It's like saying, what is the path to New York?
Yes.
Depends on where you're coming from, bro. You understand? Are you come from Nigeria?
Mm-hmm.
Where you coming from? You know, and I think that is what it is. For everybody, there are things I would do that would lead me to this destination that other people couldn't possibly do. See, I
Absolutely.
have become an editor or a cinematographer. For some people, that is just not what they want to do. So that wouldn't be their path. But
Yeah.
one thing that I know for sure is the industry is, and I think this is a global thing right now, the
Yeah.
industry is open. Once you find a way to add value, you will always find a space. Find a problem that you can solve and solve it in a big way.
That's it.
And you
That's
get
it.
it. If that's,
That's
I mean,
it.
somebody came to me, of course, for all of us producers in the film industry, we have issues we're trying to resolve. If somebody walked up to me today and said, "Oh, hi, there's this thing I'm trying to, I feel I can do, and it's a problem I'm trying to," that very day we're gonna have a meeting, and resolve. It's what it is. So instead of looking for, most times I feel people keep looking for what the industry can do for them, which is
Yeah.
not a bad. But just look for a problem in the industry and solve it in a big way. You will get attention.
So do you think there's support from our government and the powers that be for the Nollywood industry? Because the Nollywood industry is one of the things that Nollywood and Afrobeats have brought Nigeria to the forefront. Let's be real clear, right? At this
Yeah.
at this point in time. Do
True,
you
true.
think that there's support from the powers that be, or do they want to find ways to chop your money?
So I mean, to answer that question, I'll say, what do we mean by support, right?
Yes.
And I ask my colleagues this question all the time. You know, the government provided the Nollywood Bank of Industry Fund,
Okay.
which was about 3 billion or something, right? Right now, there's a CBN fund going on. And I know there was another one that playing like 3 funds. And the question is,
Mhm.
what happened to all that money? You understand?
Snake, not snake eater.
No, actually, because the money was made available.
I know.
Filmmakers got the money. We know that for sure.
Okay,
Filmmakers
people
got,
did get it. Okay.
they had access to the money. They made films with the money. Were the films as good as they should have been? I don't know. But those are the questions. So in my mind, the government could possibly maybe do a little more, but they've done a lot actually.
Okay.
Do you understand? So from what they've done, what have we, it goes both ways. We can't keep saying the government should do. The government has provided over 3 billion, and that money has just disappeared. And the money was handed to filmmakers. So my
Okay.
point is, at some point, we also need to own it and say we could have done better.
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
understand? That's
Yes.
the conversation I'd like to have. Because trust me, if you were the president, you give some people 3 billion, disappear. You give them another one. Would you? I mean, well, think about it. It gets to a point you're like, yo, I don't know if you guys are serious.
The money
So
disappear like the money disappears with them too. I mean, monkey see, monkey do.
I don't know. I mean, it's just a question that I feel we need to answer. And
You're right. You're right.
it's easy to blame the big dogs and say the government is this and that. And I'm sure there are many sectors that can do that and get away with it. I'm not sure the Nigerian film industry is one of those sectors. Because
Okay.
hey guys, it's documented. We know you guys. I mean, I'm sure there was a time you saw a lot of films that came from Nigeria had the Bank of Industry Fund, BOI
Yes,
fund.
I saw that. Hmm.
Yeah. So
I
what
didn't. I
else?
didn't like them, but I saw it.
That guy goes, that's the answer.
It looked like somebody gave their brother from Oweri some money.
I don't know.
I mean, let me not get you in trouble. Let me not get you.
No, it's fine. It's the right. So before we blame the government, has the government taken 10 steps towards us? Yes. Have we taken 10 steps towards them? I'm not sure. So we might want to check that before we, before we lay blames.
So it's kind of like a win-win situation. So another one of my favorite that movie people is Kunle. You do a lot of projects with Kunle.
Yeah.
That's like your body, your brother. So like a lot of projects, you guys are always like hand in hand. And I'm like, I see why, because these men make movies I want to watch. You know what I'm saying? So how was it working with him, and how did you guys connect?
Actually, so it's a funny story how Kunle Afolayan and I connected. So at some point we were staying in the same estate, and we used to work out at the same gym.
Wow.
Right? But I knew him as a filmmaker, obviously, but he did not know me as a filmmaker.
Okay.
Right? So I was just this guy that would work out, almost every day, and then that's it. And then someday he was looking for somebody who could do stuff on the international level. And he asked around, and somebody sent my showreel and stuff to him. And I was like, who's this guy? I want to meet him. And then I show up and he's like, what? Like, you are like, yeah. So he freaked out. He was like, we've been working out for
all this time.
I was like, yeah, I mean, so that's how we met. And we've worked on a bunch of stuff. I like him. He's one of those guys that he cares about the project.
Yes.
And you'll be surprised that a lot of people do not, A lot of people just want to make the films and go, but Kunle Afolayan cares about the film. He's an artist. Yes, he's a business person, but he's also an artist. You understand? I respect that. So we connect on that level. Sometimes, I mean, when we work, it's like, it's almost like we're not working. You understand? We're just vibing and getting stuff done.
Y'all like brothers. And the thing about it is that you can make movies and stories that have, timeless, which is, stuff that if I have children or you have children's children, they can still watch it and it seems like not like something that's an archive,
We try.
Right? You don't like to even give yourself ginger. Look at you. You're not even gingering yourself. You're like, yes, okay, thank you. So share with me first things first, were you scared when you stepped into the movie? Did you start going to school for doing movies, or were you going in another trajectory and then got to this?
Well, I have a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. I think that answers your question. Mm-hmm. So by training, I'm an engineer, and now I'm a filmmaker.
Your voice went down. Did somebody call you? Your voice went down a little bit. I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I think your voice. I think somebody called. Did somebody call you to disrupt your? All right, so continue. We'll hear it later.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
A little bit. Can everybody hear him in here, guys? Can you guys hear him? People want to have movie jobs. People are saying they want to partake in the music of your movies. So you started in engineering. I heard that.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the path. And then, was I scared going into film? I can't remember. I mean, there must have been some. When you're trying something new, there's always that feeling. But something I know for sure is, I think being afraid is okay. I'm not one of those people who think you shouldn't be afraid. I like it, be afraid, but do it anyway. Do you understand? There's something I usually say to people, that your voice can shake. It's okay, but say what you want to say anyway. Say it trembling. You understand? And that's okay. So
that's good. That's always a good thing. So somebody that wants to take that step, give them 5 things that you would give them to be able to kind of accomplish some of the things that you did to accomplish your goals. We already heard 1 or 2, but give us 5.
5, all right. I mean, I'd say the first thing that comes to mind is, as with everything in life, I think it's all mental, right? Everything happens in the mind. You know what I'm saying? Everything happens in the mind. So the first thing I would say is, if you're not, you have to be sure you want to do this, because the industry is going to test you and it's going to break you if you're not. I mean, that's the truth. It
Yes.
will, it will test you in ways you've not been tested.
Who you telling? Yes.
Yes, and you'll be working. Understand this. If you want to be a banker today, you go to a bank. There's a path. You know, you get to this point, you get promoted. You get to this point, but with the film industry, it's uncharted territory. Do you understand? So you have to be sure you want to do this. You have to be sure. So find a reason. I would say find a reason beyond yourself. Find something that is not about money. You will make money. That's my problem. But you can also make money being a lot of things. Do you understand? So I feel. So find something bigger than yourself. It has to be bigger than your ego. It has to be bigger than whatever. That's what I would say. Then what else? I'd say surround yourself. Two things. It's double-sided. Surround yourself with people who can inspire you, or surround yourself with nobody. If you can't find people who inspire you, you know, just stay on your own. Your
circle is very important. Who you surround yourself with are people that you are. You like they say, who you surround yourself with is who you are. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yes, and you've got to find people who are better than you at different things. You know. Yes. Don't surround yourself with people you think you're better than. You understand? It just, you have to. I mean, I really respect my team because there are things they bring to the table that I could not possibly have thought about. You know, there are things they do, and I'm like, oh man, I couldn't have thought about that. Do you understand?
There's no I in team.
I think it's very important to do that.
Those are good. And you already gave two others, so you've given us a lot. So what part of Nigeria are you from? I feel like you're a Yoruba demon, but continue.
I don't know about the demon part, but definitely yes, I'm from Ondo State. I'm from Accra actually. So that's I'm a Yoruba, 100% Yoruba.
But you're a Yoruba angel, I'm sure.
Isn't that what all demons say?
Okay, so now I'm going to test you. So, Oga, are you single, married, sexy? We need to know. Everybody, all the girls out here saying he's a fine boy, fine boy, fine boy. Tell us what's your status?
That's a very easy one to answer. Not yet, but
oh, you're single.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Oga is Oga's on the market, so you guys. Matter of fact, don't even rush in his inbox. Wait on us. Everybody wait on the line. So what's your type? What's the type of person you would want to be with?
The kind of person I'd want to be with. You understand?
Brilliance. Somebody to talk to. After the looks have died, let's continue conversing.
Yes, because I've been a few times. I've had conversations with people, and you know, sometimes people give you that look. You're talking to them, and they're like, But in their mind, you can tell they're like, man, this guy is just.
They are stupid. They are doing mumu.
Yeah, so it's like, guy is crazy. So I'd rather, you know, be with somebody who's who at least can relate with the craziness.
Everybody's saying the market must sell. These women here, your inbox is going to be on fire today. Oh. Please, don't rush him. He's tired. It's 10 o'clock. So if you couldn't be what you are today, which is a dream, you have a dream job, production company, you do what you love, what would you be if you weren't, I guess engineer, right? Because when school mentioned. What would you be if you weren't in the movie industry?
I'd probably be in space talking to aliens or something.
Oga, Oga.
I mean,
It's okay, you'll be an astronaut?
I'm not an astronaut, but I mean, I don't know, right? Do we ever know really? I mean, it's easy to say,
right.
but how do you know? You know, the path.
You're
Life,
absolutely right. You're absolutely, because it's like your path that you charted is the part that you're in, right?
yeah. So I don't know, but whatever it is, I know for sure that I will be, you know,
Be
finding.
great at whatever you do. The way that you are, you're so humble, Ade. You're
Yes.
so humble. That's why you're blessed, because you're humble. I mean, humility, I think, is a big thing in doing this in this industry. And you definitely have that. So everybody wants to partake in your movies, partake in yourself. What are some of the things you look for when you're looking for an actor?
Oh, performance. I like actors who can. One, the actor has to be professional. You know, you have to be professional. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is something. It's a global thing where some people do not realize that it's important. You understand? You've got to come at this as a professional. You know, you're not a star. You're a star on the red carpet, but on the film set, you're as good as the crew members. You know, nothing
That's
else.
true. You're right.
Yeah, and then of course performance. Everybody looks for that. I like people who are collaborative. I think most actors are like that, truth be told. But you know, sometimes you meet some actors and they say all the right things, but they're not thinking all the right things. You know, they say things like, okay, yes, sir, yes. No, that's not what I mean. Just listen. Let us build these characters together. You understand? And I found that the actors I enjoy the most are the ones who come empty. They prepare, but they come empty. Do you understand?
Yes.
Let us experiment. Let us find ways to tell this story that will shock even, you know, both of us. So I think that,
Flexibility is very important. Being able to ebb and flow, right? That's very important, because you
yeah,
never know, because 1 minute a story could be going that way, but you might be like, let me switch it a little bit. And are you going to get thrown off if I'm doing that? Or are you going to go with the flow and let us do what we need to do, right?
yes, yes. And
Yeah,
there's some
now.
people, yeah, you know, there are some people who come to you with they really, they really want to do this. You understand? And I like when actors are vulnerable, right? And I think that's the best thing an actor can be. You know, I know some actors feel the need to be okay. I need to come at it as if I know everything. No, that's why there's a director on set. You're not supposed to know everything. Just come and say, you know, just be open and let's vibe. You understand? I think
I
it's
love it.
once
I love it. When I come to Nigeria, I'm going, come on, be open so I can vibe. So who are your favorite Hollywood producers, cinematographers? Who do you like? Who inspires you? Who did you look at and say, I love the way they move and I love what they're doing?
um, I don't have any particular. Of course, everybody who does anything great. I mean, the usual suspects. Yes, I admire their work, but so sometimes when I get asked that question, people don't understand the answer, but it's the truth. I'm really not inspired by film. Do you
Mm.
Of course, I love film, obviously,
Hmm.
and I say that, and I respect what everybody who's great is doing. They're very inspiring. But my real source is in, um, you know, think about when you're young and you have this old man sitting under a tree and he's telling stories to the young people. That old African man is my inspiration, even though he's faceless and nameless. You understand? Because in that moment, the mosquitoes don't bite. Do you understand? Everything stops. And I've been in those kind of spaces where it's like everything shuts down. In that moment, the story is everything. Life is good while that story is being told. That is what I'm trying to replicate on screen. Do you understand? So we're working on it.
So are you working on any new projects that we should be looking out for?
Of course. I will.
You don't go
well,
tell us. We want to know.
well, coming soon. Yes, we're working on
Oh, that's oh yeah, yes, we
some
are working
good,
on some.
some really good stuff. Yes.
Is it going to be something that we're going to love?
I'd say it would be something that I am going to be proud of, and
I
I
love
hope
that.
that you are going to love it. You understand?
I love that.
But we're pushing the envelope where we're pushing even what I like this idea of when you make a film, you should exhaust what you know at that point.
Yes.
And then your next film push the you know, even while writing the script, you should be afraid you can't finish the script. And when you want to shoot it, like what kind of story is this? And then find a way to tell that story in a simple way that everybody will understand. I think that is the real magic, you know. And
You're
that's
so freaking inspiring, Ade. Oh my gosh. Like, you're taking me to the next round with these answers. You're taking me to the next round with these answers. So, what's your favorite Nigerian food to chop now that we're celebrating Nigerian independence?
food. Give me my yam and eggs.
Oh my God, you're like my mom. Yam.
Yes. You know,
My mother hides yam from us. She doesn't like to say yam.
I don't
She will
blame
hide it. I'm like, Mommy, I want some yam. She's like, I don't have yam. Then you catch her eating yam and palm oil.
I don't blame her. But I like
Yam, you're a yam guy.
yeah, yam, garden eggs, you know, just all the fun stuff.
The simple things in life.
Oh yeah.
So guys, if you have any questions for Nodash, throw your questions in the throw a question, hit the question button, and he'll answer the question. Somebody said, please, oh, some of us want to carry cable for your studio.
You don't need to carry cables. You can't put more than that.
People want to come and carry cable for your studio. So we know the elephant in the room. So COVID-19 came. It don't scatter everything. How is it impacting the work that you're doing?
Um, this might sound weird, but it really, I was working through the COVID period. Yes, we were not on set, but remember that I usually say that being on set is like a vacation for me personally, because
Yeah.
most of the work that I do is 80% off the set. So through the COVID period, there were some commercials we needed to finish. There was some and stuff like that. But I think that for the industry as a whole, I think even though I mean nobody wanted this to happen, nobody, you know, COVID is
Yeah.
crazy. Um, but there's in the spirit of looking at the bright side, there's a bright side because people were locked at home for a period of time, and the only outlet they had was film. So a lot of people who normally would not interact with Nigerian films did during that period. And that has built a taste for those films.
Yes.
But I feel
Yes.
that going forward, we have expanded the audience base in ways that we probably don't even know yet. You understand? So by next year, we'll start seeing the real impact. And I think that's a good thing for the industry. But people have, because this whole COVID thing started at the point where Netflix came to Nigeria in quotes. So there were a lot of Nigerian films that people interacted with at that point. But the standards have been set. It's up to us to now exceed those standards. And
Exactly.
that's what I think needs to happen next.
Somebody keeps asking, Mr. Nodash, I would really appreciate being interested in being on your upcoming production. I'm sure when you have a production, you drop like call auditions and stuff like that, Abi.
Oh yes, absolutely. And whenever there's an audition, I mean anybody can and that's it. And that's something about the way we operate. If we are casting, we are actually casting.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone. Sometimes I hear people say, "Oh man, they're not gonna take new talent." No, we are looking for new talent. So
Absolutely.
please.
And like that's not to go back to Delivery Boy, but I love the girl and the guy they were such amazing actors. I was like, wait, like I've seen her in like, the series and stuff, like the web series. She's been on a couple of web series. But to see her, and then she's a gorgeous, like gorgeous. And in the movie, there's something with her. I'm not gonna tell you guys so you don't know the story. But the way that you protect her, but her beauty still shone through. Like, how did you cast them? They were so good, so good.
Yeah, I think any filmmaker will tell you this, that your film lives or dies based on the people you cast. and Jemima and Jamal Ibrahim were the perfect, in my opinion, the perfect. I think Jamal is a part of the conversation right now.
Hey Jamar, what's up? How are you doing?
Yeah.
I was like, I've never been so like honestly, like I was riveted. I was like, from like the movie opens with action. It doesn't like it's not a build. It starts right there. Boom. You're smack dead in the middle of it. It's like,
Yeah.
and I like movies that start because I hate that, oh, you have to wait for a slow build, slow burn. I don't personally like movies like that. So right away, it's like action, let's go. Boom. I was like, I was awake. So what's your favorite Nollywood movie? Not one of yours either, because you're going to call your home. And what's your favorite Hollywood movie? So tell us. You can tell us maybe 3 and 3.
So, Nigerian films, I would go for. There's this film called. I'm not sure I'm getting the title right. It's a film by. I can't remember his real name, but they used to call him Baba Salah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was. Sorry if I'm getting it wrong, but I think it's either Kotoru or something like that. It's a Yoruba film.
Uh-huh.
Some guy. I hope I didn't get the title wrong, but it's about some guy that got swindled, lost his money, and went to the river to kill himself, and he met a goddess, and then went on a journey that was really, really crazy. And I saw that when I was young, and this is why I like this film. When you watch a film, yes, I think it's Kotoai or something like that. I think
Is it Koto Aye, they said?
yeah, I can't remember the title, but it's something like that where I think there are two parts. There's Kotoai, I can't remember. But I remember the story. These are the kind of stories, and this was the way I grew up interacting with film. You watch a film, and that's the film. You watch it during the weekend, and that's what you and your friends talk about for the whole week.
Yes,
Do you understand? So it becomes
absolutely.
part of your life. You guys are interacting. You're acting like the characters. It shapes you in ways you can't imagine, and that really left a deep impression. It was a funny film, but it left a deep impression.
I love that. And Hollywood?
Hollywood, nowadays, I mean, um,
Nowadays, they have competition with Nollywood.
yeah, Joker. I really like Joker. That's one of the films I've seen recently that left a good impression.
Which one?
Joker.
The Joker? Really? I didn't like that.
Yes, but I loved it.
It was so weird. Like, I'm like, what is, I like the Joker when the Joker is well dressed, makeup is perfect. This Joker was a little bit on the demented, crazy, tick, and it took me away from my childhood. I don't like stories to be changing too much.
I understand, but I like it because the film does something that I think some films should do. We've all been talking about crazy people, especially in America, right?
Yeah.
Film explained the creation of crazy, and it
Yeah.
showed us how we are all guilty.
The build. It was kind of like the build, I guess, right?
Yeah, the guy was just trying to get by, and society failed him, and then he hit back, and it became a monster. You understand? And that's kind of like what the delivery boy was about. Some guy was an orphan. We all pass by these orphanages all the time.
Yeah.
And then, and then when we abandon them and someone else takes them and they become monsters, now we start shouting, "Oh, we got terrorists! Shut up! You could have done
That's true.
You
I feel you on that. So somebody said, would you ever do a Nigerian immigrant story? Meaning like people that come from Nigeria to here, back and forth. Because there's some movies that give you that, but you don't see it as much. Which would be production here and production there, right? Would you ever consider doing a story like that? Like Americana, that book by Ngozi would be throwing hints.
Simple. I mean, the simple answer is there's actually a script that I have about that. But as you would expect, if we're doing an immigrant story, there's going to be a twist, right?
Yes.
Yes. So there is a fantastic...
Something is cooking.
It is cooking.
You did cook something in a pot.
Always.
You did cook something. So one of the genres that I think that we're still trying to get is horror. I feel like we don't do horror so well in Nollywood. I feel like, and we have a lot of horrific stuff that happens from your ancestors taking your good luck to the spirits killing you. But I feel like it's still a little bit, you know, I think they had a remake that was on Netflix recently that was, I forgot it. It had the guys that were doing the 419 and they were involved in the spiritual stuff. I really kind of enjoyed that. My mother told me it's a remake of an old movie.
Yeah, Living in Bondage, right?
So is there like any horror type things that you're thinking of, or that's not your genre?
Oh yeah, there is something, there's something. I don't have a genre.
You do it all.
Yeah, like if it's a story, it can be told. But I think that Nigerians actually do horror pretty well. Nowadays, no. But if you go back to Ogunde, I don't know if you remember those films. Those films scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. Do you understand? And that's what
the one with the powder.
No, I mean he had some. I'm sure it's kind of like if we saw those films now, they probably look stupid, right? It's kind of like, have you tried watching Commando? You know the film by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Try watching it now. It looks stupid.
It's corny.
Yeah, but at that point, it did the job, and that's what film. There's no film you're gonna make 30 years down the line. The technology would have moved so far that it's gonna look. I mean, watch Citizen Kane. It's still a brilliant film, but dude, come on, man. We could have shot it better. It's still a brilliant film. At the point when it was shot, we still have to respect the thought processes of the artists, right? That at this time, based on the prevalent knowledge, they were able to create this.
Yeah.
So I feel that, you know, I feel because Nigerians are very passionate people, we all know that. We are very into emotions. So if we should start making horror films now and we get them right, everybody will run away. People won't sleep for weeks. People need therapy after watching them.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the Brits played with a little bit of thriller type thing, right? The Brits played with that a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
a little bit of a thriller type movement.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, so I can get you in trouble. Who are your favorite Nollywood actors? The ones that I have to watch their movie.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna get you in trouble, Nodash.
No, that's a very easy question to answer. Jamal Ibrahim, Jemima Sunday. The guys in Delivery Boy. Those are my.
That's it. You're going to stay safe. Who's your favorite Nollywood actor that's not in a movie that you have made? Let me.
If I haven't worked with them, I really, you know.
See your life. See your life. You see, you don't ask that question. So, who's your favorite Afrobeat artist? How about that? Your top Afrobeat artist that you like, because they're also moving the gamut of Nigeria in entertainment. Who are your favorite musical artists?
I would say, well, first of all, confession. I don't listen to a lot of. Well, I have a certain kind of music I listen to. But I know, I mean, I hear these songs and I know some.
What kind of music do you listen to? Jazz?
Well,
country?
Don't get me wrong. I listen. I mean, I can listen to anything, but but what I would go towards. But I know some of them. I know some of the songs. So I would say, well, definitely Burna Boy, Davido, Wizkid, and it's even aside the music, which is obviously good. Aside the music, it's the influence the music is having in real life.
Yeah.
The demonstration of the power of art. Do you understand? So there's a guy called Naira Marley. I've not met him, but I don't know.
Sophie?
Music, but I see people say they are Malians. And the first time I heard it, I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was Bob Marley, but they're like, no, we're fans of Naira Marley. I'm like, for an artist to have this kind of influence in real life, this is art. This is the demonstration of the power of what we're dealing with. So I respect that they've been able to harness that power. Whether they're using it for good or for bad, we'll find out with time. But I like that at least they've been able to harness it.
Absolutely. And I was gonna say before we kind of leave, because the time is going, that there's a way that sound is used in movies to make movies even more impactful. And I feel like you play with sound a lot sometimes with your movies, and like it builds momentum, it builds the like anticipation. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. At the end of the day, people don't watch films for pictures or for sound. They watch films for emotions, right? At the end of the day, that's what we sell into the audience, emotions. That's it. And whatever tools I have at my disposal to evoke those emotions, I'm going to use them. Do you understand? And sound is one of them. Light is one of them. Do you understand? Movement is one of them. Voice is one of them. So
Absolutely.
I use everything. And there's a way, because I have I have a background in a bit of music, so I understand that. And something else is there's a guy who did the sound for the Delivery Boy, especially. His name is Truth. He's a wizard. Do you understand? And it helps to work with people like that, where I can communicate something on a thought level and he would understand. Do you understand? So, yep. Without sound, we don't have films. Somebody
just said that you're one of their favorite African movie directors, hands down. They say Africa, not just Nigeria, Africa.
Thank you.
And he does it all. He's not even just director. He's cinematographer. He got everything, everything. Producer, editor, writer. You are a true hustler. Nigeria hustle. In many ways. So you still haven't told us what your favorite music is.
The next interview, we'll talk about that.
Next interview, we'll talk about it. So before we leave us with some parting words and how people can reach you or see upcoming projects to be a part of, or how they can come and move tables on your set.
Well, how to reach me is pretty simple. I always respond to messages, always. It might take a while if I'm on set or whatever, but I will always respond, no matter who sends the message. So yes, I'm easy to reach, just reach out. It's simple. What else?
A few words for people, before you leave, just a few parting words. If you feel good, a few Nodash gems.
I don't know about gems, but something I'd like to for all of us to remember is, especially because there's the independence that just happened yesterday and all that, is that we're at a point now where we can't blame anybody else for how we appear, for who we are. When you're a child, you can blame your parents, but now we're adults. You can't really, and it's the same thing with us as Africans. That right now we have the power, we have the tools to shape the narrative, to shape how we're perceived. We've gone past the point where we say, oh, the British are saying this about us. No, the question is, what are we saying? And everything counts. Every tweet, every message. Before you say something, just think about it and think about the impact it has on,
Also, literally supporting each other. That's very important. The same way you are supporting your network, supporting people, right? That's very important to move the gamut around. And today, your homework, everybody, is to go and watch the Nodash film. He has web series he's done. He has documentaries. If you're in that realm, he has movies. So you have no excuse than to go and watch a movie for him today. And you will see it by the numbers when he gets the numbers from Netflix. Abi?
Awesome.
Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for your patience. And thank you for being Nigerian and representing Nigeria how we want to see it.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a nice day, Nodash. Get some sleep.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
It's me too, baby. Dope Nation. Give me 2 shots on the regular.